Hey guys, so you obviously know that I'm a big Marvel fan, so I couldn't help myself, and this episode's gonna be extra long because we're covering Captain Marvel! Buckle up, because this is going to be a long episode. I will leave the times in the description down below. So I was hoping to go see Captain Marvel for an advanced screening so I could do an early review for you guys. Unfortunately, Marvel is so tight-lipped with all of this stuff that they're not letting people see it early. The earliest I can see it is tonight, which means I'm gonna try and do some kind of either live thing with Stefan Mock, or I'm just gonna put out another episode that'll either release on Patreon or I'll try to give you guys as soon as possible. But I can't promise anything because, you know, it's a tight schedule. So that being said, the least I could do is do an episode of Fan Theory where I covered lots of different things for the Captain Marvel movie. Just putting it out there right up front. I realize that this is just a reaction-based thing, but spoiler alert, we're about to watch some stuff that's probably gonna spoil things. So here we go with the first one. It's an interview with Brie Larson for BBC One. So here we go.
You're Captain Marvel. How the heck did that happen?
I was hoping you could tell me. Let me know.
You're good?
I'm here to stop the shapeshifters that are infiltrating your planet.
I love that.
That's what I'm talking about.
They called and I took the call. I mean, that's like the simple answer. I don't know. It's like kind of beyond me at this point. It all feels very surreal. I mean, look at my hair's on fire.
So wild.
I can shoot photon blasts from my fists.
It's so weird.
I cannot imagine.
All right, let's get into this. Now,
Just
imagine
being
you
like,
hadn't done your Brie
you're a
Larson
Marvel
research like
superhero.
me. What were the biggest roles in your career before you got Captain Marvel?
Sleepover.
Okay, so this feels like a trick question because I was just talking about this. Whenever I go through customs and I have to fill out a little form and they say occupation and I put actor, and every time I'm like, oh, I don't want this to happen to me again. And then I show up and I hand them the thing. They go, oh, you're an actor, been in anything I've seen? And you're just like, what do I say? And I'm like, room? Jack, the world is so big.
It's the big
And they're
one.
like, no, I didn't see that. Trainwreck? Stop doing that. Why are you breathing weird? No, I didn't see that. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World?
Your hair's getting shaggy.
No, I didn't see that. I'm like, can I just go? Like, I didn't want to be in this interaction. Like, I understand. No one knows who I am. I'm comfortable with that. I actually really like that about myself. So, did that kind of answer your question?
That was perfect.
Okay.
I mean, if I were you, and I'm not you, I would definitely go, Oscar! And
Right.
then just like kind of walk.
Oh, you would?
Yeah, but again,
I don't feel like if you just cough Oscar, they understand
they wouldn't.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
next
also
time,
crazy.
just please think
Good
about
for
it.
her.
Okay, well, but you have to understand too, there's been a lot of balance in my life with that stuff. So it's like, yes, I won an Oscar, but then I went to the airport and I couldn't get into like the lounge. You know what I mean? Because like
sure.
I hosted SNL.
Hi, I'm Brie Larson and I'm hosting SNL
Also a
with
big
Alicia
deal.
Keys.
And then I went to the airport and I couldn't get into the lounge. It's like,
It's ups and downs, right? That's life.
I mean, if you consider the lounge a down, like not getting in a down, I still feel like, you know, I'm still doing relatively okay. But
think
like,
you might be
it's
right.
not like I like walk around with Oscar and I'm like, oh yeah, I can just cut this line. Like, no one knows who I am.
Just say go long and then
That's
just
really
You just throw it.
yeah.
actually
go.
kind of surprising. I feel like everything shifts
Why are you
when
dressed
you
for laser tag?
win an
Oh boy,
Oscar.
you guys don't have any clue, do you?
Back to the movie.
I mean, it kind of
You see
does,
the
but
costume.
it's cool that she's
You
modest
put it on
about
for
it.
the first time. How did you feel? What were your notes?
What were my notes?
Yeah.
I was like, how do I go to the bathroom? That was my main note. It was like, I'm gonna have to drink water, and this seems like it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, that
There's
would
a
be
lot of
hard.
snaps and zippers, and it took us like 30 full minutes to get me into it. So how do I get out? That was like my main concern. And I still, like, after whatever 6 months being in it, it's still like we don't really know how to get in and out of it.
It's just luck every time.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, just a crowbar and a little bit of luck.
Yeah, that would be hard.
What is this?
The SHIELD logo.
Does announcing your identity on clothing help with the covert
Just
part
picture
of
a
your
diaper
job?
in
To
there.
the space soldier who was wearing a rubber suit.
Was there a particular moment which really delighted you going back to the 90s?
The blockbuster was definitely a highlight.
Boy, they like to focus on that, don't
Because
they?
they did.
Guys,
such a
Blockbuster
good
was in the
job.
90s.
Like you could.
I mean, it
you
was,
walked
but-
in and you were like, "Wow!" The production design team was very excited.
It
about
existed in
this
the
set
2000s
because
too, but-
Every VHS was period correct.
That's
And the
very
candy
90s.
selection was identical, and that was very trippy to
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
yeah,
So
that
I
is
hooked
weird.
VHS and I went, they've gone to town.
I know.
They've done
I
their
was like,
business.
DVDs
how
weren't
do
even
they
until
clearance for all
late
these VHSs? That's
90s.
crazy.
I love Hook. It's one of my favorite
I've
movies.
got to ask about certain lines in the script. Was it like Captain Marvel punches a spaceship?
And then it's like, that's it.
And that's it.
I mean, that
Like,
is
I don't know if we'll do
ridiculous.
that in visual effects.
Whatever.
No, they usually go into a little bit more detail, but it is interesting that there's something about reading it on the page and then seeing it when it's done that feels very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
I mean, I'm imagining that was a good feeling seeing it the first time.
I just saw it for the first time like last week.
And you're like, that's me.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's a very weird thing to be like, dang. For me, it was just more of like, she is really strong. Because my experience is like being on set, and it's like, okay, and then you shoot a photon blast, and I'm like, which doesn't feel as cool
Prove you're not a scroll.
as when the visual effect is in. And I'm like, dang, I'm strong.
It's a photon blast.
And?
How scroll can I do that?
I'm just supposed to take your word for that.
Tell me you made that noise of,
Well, that's one of the hardest things you have to learn is when you're doing the fight stuff. You always want to be like, and then I'm like, and then you go, oh my god, like you just want to do that,
You get to play, basically.
and you really want to with the photon
That's
blast be like,
literally
you want to make
how-
like a sound.
how I played
but
growing
you
up.
Can't make a sound.
Pachoo! Yeah, you can't. That'd be so,
that
funny.
was- that's-
That'd be so funny if she went
That's-
pachoo.
My job's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult.
did I mention the airport lounge? I mean,
Come on.
guys. Also, you have to see the script, punch old lady in the face, and then you have to sell that.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
another day in my life.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was a real lady or what.
Yeah, you also have to like get close to punching her in the face, but not actually
No
punch
doubt.
her in the face. It's scary.
Yeah.
High pressure situations.
Because if that had happened,
So that's what they
great.
did.
not great.
Not
I mean,
great.
obviously
Luckily,
they
it
didn't really
happen.
punch a lady.
Oh. You want to get personal.
Can I casually say that you have, I think, the best friendship there's ever been?
God, they
with
did
Samuel
such
Jackson.
Yeah.
a great
Yeah,
job
your
with
first
him.
minute.
Mr. Snoofers.
Mr. Snoofers.
That's what I said.
You, on the Oscar stage together, I said this to Samuel earlier, first name terms, that you were just a bunch of lovable goofballs, like seeming to have your own little world and just loving each other's company.
Yeah, we were having a great time. We were just an enormous amount of fun.
What's it like to be best friends with Samuel L. Jackson?
It's a dream come true. It's delightful. I thank
kinda
the
weird,
universe every
but I
day
love
for
it.
the gift that is Samuel L. Jackson.
You know how to fly this thing?
We'll see.
That's a yes or no question.
Yes.
God, I've seen this trailer. Sorry, guys,
Well,
I've seen
imagining,
this trailer about
You
a
know,
million
you get
times.
the role, you're announced as Captain Marvel. Was advice given to you from the other Avengers or other actors in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Were they saying, not to patronize you, I guess, but were they saying, well, this is what you need to be aware of?
Yeah, it's weird. Because she's new, but she's a bigger
no,
deal than
I
them.
mean, it's funny. I get asked that a lot
So
when
weird.
I'm doing press. People are like, "Who gave you advice?" I'm like, "We're not really like an advice industry. We don't like sit
They're big-
around and be
well-
like, let me tell you something about this." Usually, like, we're playing Boggle. We are not talking about like times in the industry and how we can help each other. It's
2
just
years
kinda-
ago was a
everyone
different
kinda
time.
bother- Yeah, it's not
I feel
really
like
that.
that's kind of
I
a spoiler.
did get to talk with some of them. We did like a Marvel 10-year anniversary photo, and I like tried to go around and be like, "Hi, I'm new. Like, what do you put in your smoothie?" And it just was embarrassing.
Have you made your way into
Hey,
the
I'm new.
Avengers WhatsApp group yet? Have you hit those heights?
There's an Avengers WhatsApp group. Lindsay, we gotta end this. We gotta end this. I'm too upset.
I'm going to ask my next question. What mementos did you keep from this film?
Mentos, the fresh maker?
What sweets from the 90s did you keep from this film? What mementos did you keep from this movie? Did you get to keep a suit? I'm imagining it isn't hanging in your house somewhere.
I did not keep one of the suits. They smell very bad. So, because of sweating,
No.
to be clear about why they smell.
She's like, I shower.
Just be like, trust me. I have one of her Carol's flight jackets.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
But they gave it to me. I definitely didn't steal it.
I believe you. And with this movie, obviously, a big part of it is the posters and the merchandise and all the rest of it. Is it surreal to see you in a toy?
It's my dream,
like that?
guys.
It is.
Not necessarily to be in a Marvel
The
movie. I
thing
mean, that
I
is
think
also.
is cool about it is just because I trained for so long
To have a
for this
Funko
movie.
Pop.
I feel like the 9 months of like strength training is like in that toy.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
kind of like forever in there.
Saved.
Like I'll eat pasta now because it's in the toy. So, like, it's all good now. But that stuff hasn't. I haven't gotten used to that yet.
Not even seeing, like,
My hair on fire next to you?
I mean,
No, I haven't gotten used to that either.
it is like this. Is,
I don't feel like I want
I don't know
to.
about that.
This back poster's probably bigger
Look
than my flat.
she's got going.
This one kind of stresses me out because I feel like you can see
guess
my
it's
pores. Like,
kind of
that's not
Madonna-ish.
fair. You know what I mean?
Bra on the outside.
Like, I
Except
shouldn't
it's
be
a
allowed to see
top.
myself this close up. This is just
You're
it's all right.
airbrushed. You're fine.
And this is my final expensive question, but
expensive.
expansive.
Okay.
What does it
She doesn't
mean
understand
to
it.
you to play Captain Marvel?
Oof, that's a big
As in,
question.
this is a momentous thing. Well, quite in the MCU.
That's an expensive question.
What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to me? Well, for me personally, it made me take a giant step outside of my comfort zone that I didn't
Aw,
know was so
that's so
important for me to
cute.
take. It was really personally
That's so
life-changing
cute.
for me to embody
Little
somebody
girl's so cute.
who's so comfortable and confident with themselves, and the strength aspect, like getting to do the fight training in particular and do martial arts, and now I feel like that's a huge part of my life.
You have to let go of the past.
I don't remember my past.
It's causing you doubt, and doubt makes you vulnerable.
That has like forever changed me. And then I'm also on a toothbrush.
That's the ultimate life dream.
I know. It's weird.
What are you gonna
That's
What
the
do you
big
do
deal.
with that? Where do you file that in your head? Do you file it under toothbrush? Do you file it under surreal?
This is surreal.
File it under don't want to think about that, worry about it?
Also, you know what you're gonna get for Christmas. Everyone is gonna be getting you one of those.
That toothbrush.
Yeah, exactly.
God, I
I'm
can
gonna have
only
so
imagine.
many of them. My teeth are gonna be so clean.
Just gonna be Funko Pops.
My
and
dentist's gonna be
toothbrushes.
like, what
Dude.
happened? They're like, you need a floss more. I'm like, sorry, there's no Captain Marvel floss. It didn't happen.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Tell me. So, is it? How am I doing it? How do you do it right?
Well,
Because this is more surfing.
it feels kind of like a shaka, doesn't it?
Shaka.
So it kind of depends if you're flying an eagle, if you're flying a viper.
Devil
so
horns.
one's this and one's this.
Shaka.
Both are in the movie, so both the vipers and the eagles can be into it.
That has pleased me very, just
Yeah.
like so much.
It was amazing.
So I'm just gonna put it out in the universe. I want to be in a Marvel movie. I mean, I want to be in a movie that's not like straight to DVD. But you know, that's just me. This little short interview here, short, kind of inspired me, you know, because I look at Brie Larson. I know she's been around for a while, and I know she's worked. And whenever someone says someone's new, they've really been working their butt off for a long time. And I'm only just starting, which sucks because I've wanted to be an actor since I was 4. But anyway, and I'm not acting right now. I'm hosting. Hopefully I can get the channel in a place where I can actually start acting again. Yeah. And then put stuff out for you guys. But anyway, this was really amazing to watch. She is still humbled, which is great because you can really connect with her. It's hard not to like someone who won an Oscar and is still very humbled about the whole thing. It is surreal, even though she's been in Room and she's been in a bunch of movies since she was like a girl. A lot of people have an issue with her because of feminism and, you know, whatever. Or if you're a DC fan and you just don't want her to do well for some stupid reason. Look, you can be a DC fan. Wonder Woman was fantastic, okay? But this movie looks great. And I've heard nothing but positive things about it. It's a big deal anytime something like this happens. And we do still have a long way to go. And the world is not equal. You want to think it is? Sure. And in many ways, on the surface, it absolutely is. But under the surface, subtle things make it not equal. You may disagree, that's fine. I would be honored if someone would take my little video here, react to just this portion, and complain about me. It'd be great. Pass it on, whatever you gotta do. Can you all do me a favor when you go see this movie? Don't hate on it before you've seen it. I'm really excited about seeing this movie, not just because it's female-led, but because it looks like a really good movie. This isn't Ghostbusters answer the call. This is a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, so we should definitely give it a chance. Focus on what the movie is. Remember that movies are made by at least thousands of people. Don't be stupid. Go see this movie. Speaking of Rotten Tomatoes, there was an interview with them and Kevin Feige. I haven't yet to see this, but someone passed this along to me. It's Kevin Feige on planning the Infinity War ending, Captain Marvel, and honoring Stan Lee. Let's get to it.
I don't want to go. Skirt, please.
God, that was like the hardest scene, which they knew what they were doing. They wanted it to be the hardest scene in the movie. Ah!
We spent...
On choosing who got tested.
It's no exaggeration,
in
years in a room. Myself, our executive producer at Marvel Studios, Trin Tran, Joe and Anthony Russo, and our screenwriters, Chris Marks and Steve McFeely, years in a room working on Infinity War and Endgame. And one of the fun games was we had character cards. They were spread around a table, they were up on whiteboards, and deciding who was going to go at the end, and who was going to turn to dust, who would Thanos, who would be in that 50% pile. And they moved around a little bit, but for the most part, it was what you saw at the end of the movie is
I think it's interesting that they use the
early on,
Cap
in large
conference
part
room.
because it would be the most heartbreaking. Seeing
So they
T'Challa
did
go
this-
right
okay.
after his first appearance, seeing Spider-Man go.
They didn't know if
Peter
that was gonna
Parker
do
after
well.
That relationship had been established between he and Tony Stark, and it also was designed to leave behind the original,
Right.
Because Endgame. very
Which,
much
it's so
follows
weird because it doesn't seem like, it seems like we lost some of them, but we didn't. That was so surprising after how successful that movie was. God, this sucked for me. I just love
The end of Infinity War was
love the
traumatizing
Guardians.
for us. It was traumatizing as we made it, as we shot it, as we cut it together, as the visual effects started coming in, and when we started to screen it, it was pretty amazing to see people sit there in shock that it had actually.
Marvel
ended.
wants to be taken
At
seriously.
the premiere,
but
somebody told me a story.
I hope they undo a
that
lot
they
of
had
it.
brought somebody to the premiere,
I know they will,
and at
but-
the end of the movie, they looked over, and the person they brought was crying, and they said, "We're at a big premiere. Don't embarrass me. Don't cry." And suddenly that person looked around and realized, "Oh, everybody's crying." And that's a testament to our writers, to our filmmakers who put that together, and to our cast that has become so beloved over the years that an audience is going to feel that emotionally drained by their loss.
Say yes.
Okay, we're getting into this.
Looking for permission. Gene.
Fox stuff, Fox merger, here we
I've
go.
been at Marvel now
Yeah.
for almost 19 years.
Acquisition,
And the
whatever.
notion of having access to all of our characters was always a dream. It's soon going to become nearly a reality. And I started at Marvel working on the X-Men film and working on early Fantastic Four films.
I did not
and
know
that's
that.
where I was very
I guess that makes sense.
lucky to be around some of those early films and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films, and we learned a lot from being a small part of all those early movies that now and at some point soon we'll have access to those characters is exciting. And it's exciting to have access to all the comics because we love all
March
the
8th,
comics. There's so many great
from what I
stories
hear.
in the comics, and for many years we'd have to put aside a set of those comics and go, oh, we don't have access to those, and now we do, or will soon, which is exciting.
Needless to get help.
We are not doing Get Help.
Disney Plus, huge initiative for the company, and Marvel Studios has been asked to supply content for it, which for us is another incredible way to tell our stories. We've released 20 movies, we've shot and nearly finished 23 movies, and that we finally have a way to tell long-form narrative stories. And we're going to be able to focus on characters who you've seen in our other films, but have never been the focus of a film. The one we've announced so far is Loki. And the opportunity to work with Tom Hiddleston again and to showcase Loki lived a long life. Loki's been around for over 1,000 years. What has he been doing? And really with these Disney Plus series that we're going to be announcing at some point is they will be 100% MCU. Tie them
That's
together.
so awesome.
Characters you've seen
That's
in the
so
movies will go
awesome.
into these series. Characters will change over the course of these series. New characters could be introduced in these
Oh,
series.
he's geeky,
and
you-
then those
you can
changes
tell.
or those new characters will be reflected in upcoming movies.
I'm geeky.
I'm not gonna fight your war. I'm gonna end it.
seen this so many times, but I
One of
love
the
it
most
still.
exciting things about Captain Marvel was making a film set in a time period that we hadn't seen before in the MCU, seeing an early version of Nick Fury, an early version of S.H.I.E.L.D. before they had been exposed to these intergalactic conflicts, and bringing Carol Danvers into the world and understanding where she came from, where she has been, and as we head into another movie we have later this summer, see her grand return.
It's so smart how they wrote this.
Hey, Gary! Marjorie, how are you? How's your mother?
Well, it was a very sad day for us when we learned of Stan Lee's passing. A day that we on some level knew was inevitable, but thought perhaps would be a long way away. And we were thinking about how would we pay tribute to him. And honestly, we've been paying tribute to him for years, and to his work and the work that he did with all of his collaborators. So the films to us speak for themselves, and that the work is the tribute. We knew that on Captain Marvel, the first film released after his passing, we wanted to start it off with really a celebration, which is what we believe Stan would have wanted, is not a mournful or sad thing at the end of the film, but a celebration right up top. And we've screened it now for some people, that opening of the movie, and it's really nice to see the rousing reaction to start off the film.
Cool. I feel like there were a lot of spoilers in that. The Disney acquisition of 20th Century Fox is official as of this week, March 8th. Coincidentally, the same day that Captain Marvel officially releases nationwide. I just have to wonder, is it possible that maybe during the acquisition, the paperwork, the deals, everything they have to go through before they can finalize it, if they were given permission to at least imply towards the characters that 20th Century Fox owns at the end of Captain Marvel. Just in the nick of time, so it's technically legal. That way it opens the door, or not, if we don't actually acquire them. But they're obviously going to acquire them. Take my money now. All right, moving on. I'm so excited. Here's an actual scene from Captain Marvel. So if there's any time that there's going to be spoilers, it's definitely this point. Let's just get into it.
Was it something I said?
I love that guy. How does Sam Jackson move around like that? Like, he's really old now. You gotta wonder if there's a body double. Oof. Oof, that's gotta really hurt.
Now, you know, I don't really need these to see.
I've never heard him with the accent.
They do kind of complete the look.
Don't you think?
Yeah, kind of saw that coming. I can't believe how much he flipped around and stuff. Like Samuel L. Jackson, dude. If nothing else, Marvel's really good at making it look real.
Not bad.
Holy crap. I knew he was in this movie, but the trailer didn't make him look that young. Wow, that's so weird. They did such a... That is weird.
They're not down here. Let's try up there.
Whoa, that was weird. For some reason, it's less weird to see Agent Fury young than it is to see Coulson. What the heck? Was she Mega Man? Oof.
You guys wouldn't happen to know how these things come off, would you? No? Fine.
Want to fight?
Get ready.
Oh, so we're... Yeah.
You got a real attitude. I like it.
Captain Marvel, rated PG-13.
Samuel L. Jackson looks incredible in this movie. Even without the de-aging process that they do to him or Coulson, he still looks great. Dude, he looks so good in this movie. How in the world are they gonna do this movie? And it looks so legit. Bravo! I'm not surprised, but Marvel, you do a great job with that. I can go on and on. I'm very excited about this movie. I do think it's hilarious though. It's always been that way, but it's just kind of funny. Marvel Studios, Captain Marvel. They say it twice. Marvel, 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 Marvel. Anyway, yeah! Captain Marvel, here we go! I think that Goose the Cat, which is actually a squid alien thing in the comic books, is going to do some hardcore damage in this movie, especially to the Kree or the Skrulls. And I say Kree because obviously the Kree are bad guys. I think that's pretty evident. Annette Bening's character is probably the real Marvel. I don't think that she is just this entity that they recovered Carol Danvers and then they turned her into Captain Marvel. And maybe I'm wrong because Marvel's trying to definitely break our expectations. Carol Danvers is probably eyed by them after they see what she's capable of, after they see her drive and initiative. This entire time, Annette Bening's character poses as a human being on the surface, sort of to test her before she transfers her powers over to her, and however they gotta do it. I know that they show those little tubes and stuff, but I don't know if that's necessarily what makes her her. Maybe it is, I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna be evil in that case. I think that would be interesting to make Annette Bening not the bad guy. I think Jude Law is probably the bad guy as Jan Rog. The Skrulls are just gonna be part of the issue, and there is going to be a war between both, and they're both kind of bad guys. The Kree are actually going to be the bad guys. That might piss off some people who love the comic books, but I think they're gonna make it work, and I think it's gonna be really interesting. So I'm excited to see that. By the end, we're going to get at least a scene to either 20th Century Fox characters in some subtle way, or maybe 2 post-credit scenes, because one of them is definitely going to transition us into Endgame. This is my fan theory. What's yours? What's up, fellow fans? If you like what you see here, make sure you like, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified of future episodes.
Join the fandom at patreon.com/fantheorytv for exclusive and early access to full-length reactions, unaired and unblocked episodes, and so much more.
You're curious. Admit it.
And that ain't no theory.